Yep, we're live on everything. Very cool. All right. Starting a little early just to make sure everything is working. Also watching the ball game on the other screen. So, stream is public. Find the top of the screen. We're having trouble streaming to Instagram. Oh, Instagram not working. Let's see what happens here. Live video. Public. Not working. Ah. Well, I guess it's not working on the Instagram thing. So, save changes. No? I guess the Instagram thing's not working. Maybe? Let's see what happens here. Looks like it wants to. Oh, well. I guess Instagram's not going to work. Boo. Hello. Oh, sorry. People popped in. Yeah, I was a little early just trying to see if things were working. Looks like the Instagram feed is failing, but thanks for tuning in. Still got a few more minutes before we start, but hello, welcome. Hopefully everybody can see me. Again, trying at StreamYard. I believe we're streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So thanks to all of you. It doesn't really show me who's connected to each, but that's all right. Everything should show me comments. So wave and say hello. I'm hoping everybody can hear me. Testing the audio, video, all that looks good. So I'm pretty happy with that. Everyone liked the new illuminated TUG logo in the background. I'm super fancy. Trying to spice things up for our live streams here. People are joining in. This is fantastic. Thank you so much. Hopefully everyone not keeping everyone away from the extremely exciting Houston versus Chicago game. A little bit more halftime. And if you are, well, tune in with me. I got a plan on the other screen over here, and I'll let you know if anything super awesome happens. But we got another minute or so till we actually officially go live. Again, I appreciate everyone for tuning in, and I'm truly hoping, I really wish I could watch it, see if everything is working properly. I see people on, but can't post comments to some destinations. So I'm going to do test. See if that still works. Awesome. Looks like it's working to both. Fantastic. So again, more people popping in. Thank you so much for everyone joining us. I can't tell if you're on Facebook or YouTube, but hey, Ron, thanks for joining us again this Sunday. Again, I appreciate everyone taking a little time out of their Sunday evening watching football to watch me chit chat about some things. And it's officially 9 o'clock. So we will officially start this video. Again, for those of you that tuned in, thank you so much. I started a little early just to make sure things are working, and I already had one failure. Doesn't look like Instagram, for whatever, is feeding properly. I get a nice big red exclamation point saying it's not currently connected to Instagram, so I'll work on that and we'll try better. I'm not sure who all tuned in on Instagram, but it is what it is, and we will try it again. Hopefully things are a little better each and every time. So got 7 things on the agenda this evening. We posted them in the YouTube description as well as the Facebook item there. Hopefully we'll talk about some topics, get some interactive stuff here, and see how many more people we can get on. Now, maybe I will post the link in the forum real quick. Give me 1 second. I want to post that, make sure we are live here. So TUG, post this on the other forum here. Log in and one after. So give me 1 second, and I'm just going to post that we are on. There we go. Now people are tuning in. So now people, maybe it took them a while to load. So hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us Sunday Night Football and talking timeshares. thanks to everyone who tuned in. Again, I appreciate everyone who spent a little time in their Sunday evening to come watch here and then hopefully participate in what will be an entertaining and informative discussion about timeshares while we all watch the Houston Texans play Chicago Bears. Currently, doesn't look like the Bears are doing very good, which is both happy and sad because I don't really want to see the Texans do well either. But I can't really say a whole lot. I was extremely disappointed and saddened, and cried a little bit as my Jaguars found yet another way. Oh, the Emmys tonight. Oh, I totally forgot that was this evening. But yeah, I pretty much had my fill of football this season as a Florida State alumni. I can't even put into words how extremely saddened I am to watch how that has played out this year. And then as a Jaguars living in Jacksonville, a Jaguar fan, I'm used to that sort of perpetual sadness. But it's still, for whatever reason, I put up with it every Sunday, and I am incredibly disappointed each and every Sunday. It seems they find new and exciting ways to throw away football games that they should otherwise win, and that's kind of just rips your heart right out when you watch it. But hey, again, all right, more and more people coming on. Awesome, fantastic. It seems to be working. I don't know how many are watching on Facebook, how many are watching on YouTube, but welcome to all of you to TUG, the first episode of TUG Sunday Night Football and Timeshares. And again, for those of you who chimed in, I do have the football game on the other channel, so you can watch with me, or you can just sit along and chat. 7 topics we're going to discuss today. Most importantly, to get rid of it, since we're really streaming on YouTube, although on Facebook is we reached over 3,200 subscriptions on YouTube, which is absolutely amazing. I talked about this last live stream we had, but the fact that I got so many people are willing to subscribe and like and watch our videos talking about just timeshare content is truly humbling. And I will continue to make these videos and have these live streams to discuss timeshare topics as long as people are willing to tune in and listen and hopefully participate. It's because I do like the interactive stuff. I love answering questions about timeshares, love talking about timeshares, and every single person that sees this or shares this or finds TUG because of our videos or because of our informational advice articles and websites is one less person that hopefully will be scammed by upfront fee resale or exit companies, as well as, for lack of a better term, timeshare salesmen. So we're all about education. We're all about informing. And that's what I hope each one of these videos do. So thank you again to every single person who has subscribed to our YouTube channel, who follows us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or X or whatever the kids are calling it these days. Thank you so much. Every click, every like, every share helps one new timeshare owner find TUG. And then that's a good thing for everyone. So along with that, we did have some big giveaways this weekend. Or haven't picked the winners yet, so you still have time to either go like our post on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel if you happen to be doing it. Every single person that likes the Facebook post or subscribes to the YouTube channel is automatically entered to win. We will be giving away 10 free TUG memberships. Doesn't matter if you're not a member, you'll get a free 1-year membership. If you are a member, thank you, and I will add a year to your membership for free. So please like the post on Facebook. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will be entered to win any and all future giveaways as well. So we love to give back to everyone who supports us on social media because word of mouth, a timeshare owner referring TUG to another timeshare owner you just can't pay for that kind of advertising anywhere. Literally, it's the absolute best way and most popular way people find TUG. It's the word of mouth through other timeshare owners. And I am super, super happy and super, super blessed that there are literally thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands of TUG members or owners that used to be TUG members that continue to share the word of TUG. Word of mouth at the pool, online, to on our forums, anywhere and everywhere, and it's a wonderful thing. So I'll pick those winners later on this evening. I'll post them this week, and hopefully, good luck. I hope all of you win. But 10 of you are going to get free memberships just for following us and liking us on social media and subscribing to us on YouTube. Hi, Terry. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you sharing your Sunday evening with us, and talk a little bit about timeshares and watch some football. Right now I'm watching a Chevrolet commercial. So super, super exciting things here. We will keep on. Yep. No, I absolutely love to give these things away. I truly, and I'm not going to lie and say that they're easily the most popular likes and shared stuff when we give away stuff. And that is the purpose. But we also give away memberships for people writing reviews. We give away memberships for people referring other people. And, I always willing to give away free memberships to those who give back to the community. And it's just my way of paying it forward. TUG was never founded to not watching football. I wish I didn't today. It was definitely a very, very bad day for Jaguars football, that's for sure. But no, paying it forward. Back to the conversation uh, Tug wasn't started to make money. Tug wasn't started to be a super profitable organization. It's something my father really believed in. It's something I truly believe in, and it's something I've been doing for almost 17 years now. It is a very, very healthy and holistic. Or what's the word I'm looking for? Very. My heart is whole, as I spend almost all day every day answering emails, phone calls to people that just need help. And when we're willing to give, whether they join or not, whether they get a free membership or not, they're going to get that sort of help on TUG, on our forum. So again, whether they choose to support TUG or not, TUG is a resource. TUG is for all owners, and we are always happy to give back to anyone who shares that thoughts and shares the link to TUG on the internet so that other owners can find it. So also, just to tune in for those of you that are on, we're giving free personal assistance out. If anyone happens to have a timeshare question or want help with your timeshare, if you want to type it in the comments, let me know. I won't publish it like I do the other ones on the live stream. But if you've got help, I'll read it. I'm happy to give live support for people that need help with their timeshares or have timeshare questions. That's one of the coolest parts about this job is this so many people that I interact with on a regular basis that could get that help by searching on the forums, or could get that help by posting a message on our Facebook page. But sometimes, it's hard for people to navigate. There's so much information on TUG that they just want a direct answer. And then that is a big part of the TUG email every single day, is answering those single emails and phone calls. So if you do have a question, type it in the chat, post it in there, send me an email. I'll even read it on there. And then we'll happily do that through this entire stream. We've been going on for about 12 minutes now, and gone through a couple of the topics, so it doesn't look like Chicago's doing any better against Houston. So I can't imagine there's too many people out there that are more interested in football than timeshares. You would think that we could just get a small fraction of the people that are watching this game to watch our stream. That would be quite the event. So biggest topics, it's I want to say that it's something new, but it really isn't. We're getting a lot more reports of the phone scams. The people are just calling timeshare owners with offers to rent their exchange weeks, or they work for companies that are buying big blocks of particular resorts. Just that whatever the pitch happens to be, it really doesn't matter. It sounds legitimate. It sounds like they're calling you with a once in a lifetime offer for you just to make money. It won't cost you anything. Won't take any effort on your part. You just need to sign up for their service. It's $500 or $700 to, and then you'll make all of your money back either renting or selling your timeshare. All the flavors of these phone calls just seem to change very slightly just to make it a little bit more believable. And unfortunately, the reason these exist is because they work. Calling people up and telling them that they can make thousands of dollars renting out their getaway weeks or their interval international accommodation certificates, or renting out got buyers on the line ready to buy this Mexican timeshare that you couldn't sell for $1. The phone scams, it really, really comes down to phone scams. And if you get a call about your timeshare, whether it's renting, whether it's buying, whether it's selling, whether it's exchanging, no one legitimate is making these phone calls. This is the hallmark of the scammer in this industry, is a phone call about your timeshare out of the blue. They may claim to be working with RCI or to make it seem like that they are some legitimate entity. But it just doesn't happen. These cold calls are the hallmark of the scammer these days, and how they trick so many people into giving just a few $100s up to a few $1,000s with nothing more than a phone call. And we get these emails. I know I say the term every single day, which it's getting, probably the guys are sick of hearing it, but I can't express how often we get these emails or these posts on the forums. You can even go see them. I got a call from XYZ company. They said that they could rent out my getaway weeks on RCI. We rent 6 of them for $500 a piece. All I need to do is pay them a couple $100s to get going. And these scams are so prolific because even at a small percentage of success, they're just fleecing hundreds, if not thousands, of owners on a day in and day out basis. And we can't say it any clearer, and we can't get this message into any more succinct fashion. Is if someone calls you out of the blue about your timeshare, they're looking to get you to pay them money. It's really the bottom line of it. There's just no other way, shape, or form around it. And then hang up the phone, tell them no thanks. You're not interested. It's just no one. out there who is looking to give you a good deal or who is looking to truly give you an offer that you want is not going to call you via phone. They're just not going to call you up at 8 o'clock at night. Just telemarketers do that. Scammers do that. It's really, there's just no bigger red flag than that. It's always going to result in you being asked to pay money, not for them to send you money. And a common sense thing we like to tell people is, hey, if you got this guaranteed offer and I can make all this much money, why don't you just send me half that money and you can keep the rest and I'll do whatever you want. And then you just find out all the reasons and excuses and the double talk and such that they will go through to try and tell you why that can't happen. But needless to say, is the goal of every single one of these calls is to extract money from you, and they have to make it sound believable. They have to make it sound legitimate. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. People wouldn't fall for it if it sounded like a scam. But rest assured that again, if you get a call, a random unsolicited call about your timeshare, no one is calling to give you a once in a lifetime deal. They're all looking to set the hook to, with an extremely attractive bait, which is you're going to make some money on your timeshare. And then they're going to eventually to ask you to send them money up front, whether it's check or money order, just to get started or enroll in their program or whatever it happens to be. But it is always, always, always an upfront fee scam. That is how they all operate. And then just can't urge anymore to just stop engaging and definitely don't send anyone money regarding your timeshare to buy, sell, rent, or exit your timeshare. Further on that line, we've seen not only an increase in that, but we've seen an absolute increase in marketing and advertising with exit companies, exit and cancellation companies. It's easily the number one thing that is put in front of owners today. Not even, it doesn't even come close to, the phone calls don't even come close. The internet ads, the radio ads, the even on television from time to time, the YouTube ads, everything. Anyone and everyone is now promoting a timeshare exit company or a timeshare cancellation company. And they all have the same pitch. They guarantee they can get you out of your timeshare, or I'll give you your money back if I can't get you out of your timeshare. And as we've promoted so many of these videos and so many of these articles that are actively coming out against that show people the truth. It's the only guaranteed solution to get you out of your timeshare is to stop paying for it. That is the solution that these companies are touting. It's just marketed and dressed up in a much more professional and a much nicer fashion. Because if I called you or was trying to market to you a way to get out of your timeshare, and I told you that was for you to stop paying for it, you're not going to give me money. You're certainly not going to give me thousands of dollars for me to tell you to stop paying for your timeshare. But that is how these operations all function. That is the only way that they can guarantee to get you out of your timeshare, especially if you still owe. You ever notice why none of these companies put exclamation points or there's no fine print on stuff like that? They guarantee they can get you out of any timeshare because stopping payment gets you out of any timeshare. It doesn't matter what company it is. It doesn't matter what country it's in. It doesn't matter how much you owe. If you stop paying, it is guaranteed to end your ownership. The fine print, of course, is that the negative ramifications that are possible with you doing that, especially if you owe a loan balance on it, or more importantly, if you telling you that you're going to stop paying, realizing that the strategy they're using is something that you can do yourself completely free. And there's no reason to pay thousands upon thousands of dollars for you to have that sort of service. They're not going to protect you when collections agencies come. They're not going to prevent you from being foreclosed on should it get down to that line or to get down that route. There's nothing these companies provide to you that is worth $1, much less the thousands of dollars that they charge to quote unquote exit your timeshare. But the pitch is extremely effective, and it gets countless thousands of owners every single year. These companies are raking in millions of dollars collecting these fees because the pitch is so simple and so effective. I can get you out of your timeshare guaranteed. That is what more than half the owners, I'd be willing to, more than half the people that join TUG want to get rid of their timeshare. So if I'm out there actively marketing to all, X millions of timeshare owners in the United States or all over the world that I can guarantee I can get you out of your timeshare, why wouldn't you stop and listen to that? Or why wouldn't you read it a little bit more? And then when my pitch continues along, like, well, hey, I realize my fee's high, but that's 5 years worth of maintenance fees. You've been paying that for the past 5 years without any success. You'll probably pay that in the next 10 years. So it's technically cheaper. It costs you more not to give me money to get rid of your timeshare. It costs you more to keep your timeshare than my service to let you get rid of your timeshare. Again, there's no mention that you're just going to stop paying for it. That it's just going to await the default or collections or process or whatever the resort happens to have in order to get you out of your timeshare by when you default on it. But it all comes down to the same concept. These companies are charging you money for you to default on your maintenance fees and or your loan balance. And they're not offering any sort of protection or anything different if you were to do that yourself. Thus, you could save yourself thousands of dollars by just stopping payment yourself, and you have the exact same outcome you would have had you engaged that exit or cancellation company. And us sharing that message and getting that message to other owners, it's everyone we save is one less victim out there, and one more person that can use that exit strategy themselves if they find themselves in that situation. But unfortunately, the marketing money and the amount of time and effort and money, for lack of a better term, that they put into advertising these programs, and with that simple message, it is just far more attractive to the average timeshare owner to read this person saying that they can get you out of your timeshare guaranteed than this one website over here that's claiming that, hey, don't do that. That's a terrible idea. You can do it yourself by stopping payment. And it truly, at face value, if I tell you that, hey, their strategy is for you to stop paying, you're flabbergasted. You couldn't believe it. You don't want to believe that you almost fell for that, or it sounded so good, it sounded so amazing. There's no way that this company claiming to be to have helped tens of thousands of owners and so on and so forth, that their whole strategy is for you to stop paying. That's asinine. That's ridiculous. That's unbelievable. Why would anybody fall for that? That can't possibly be the truth. And it's really, even though it truly is, but you can see how the average timeshare owner, especially think of your mother or your grandmother or something like that, someone in that age bracket too, is quote unquote stuck with their timeshare, been unable to sell it, unable to get rid of it, and not getting any help from their resort, is approached by someone like this, and who tells them that, hey, I can guarantee I can get you out of your timeshare. Just stroke me a check for $4,000 or $5,000. And it's so appealing because all you have to do is pay money and you're done, or at least that's how it's promoted. And we all realize that it's even simpler than that, meaning you don't have to pay that, and all you have to do is do nothing to get those exact same results. But when it presented like that, people just don't believe it. It's just that switch doesn't click. And even when I see people post on our forums or on Facebook pages, places like that, where they're looking for help and seeking help, of, hey, I engaged XYZ cancellation company, and they told me that their program averages 18 months and is $400 a month or $4,000 to get out, and they guarantee it. Everything on face value to a TUG member or someone who's seen this before screams scam. But when you are faced with that, and the way that this slick talking person marketed that and told them that, hey, we're on your side, we're going to represent you, we're going to take care of that, we're going to handle everything for you, we're going to communicate with your resort here on out, you're now our client. All of that sounds amazing. It sounds like you're paying to stick it to your timeshare. You're paying to paying this company to fight your timeshare. When we know that that's not at all what happens. And unfortunately, far more people are lured in by that pitch because it sounds much, much better than, hey, all that company's going to do is have you stop paying for your timeshare. Might have a ding to your credit, might foreclose down the road, might not. And that truth is just not believable by most people. Most people don't believe that they can be taken again. They were probably taken on a ride when they bought their timeshare in the first place by the salesman. Certainly can't believe that they would fall for it again. So all the articles and all the videos we produce to share this message and to spread this message on what truly is the quote unquote guaranteed way to get you out of your timeshare is in our hope that every person, and there are thousands of people that view these pages on TUG, that they read that and they won't become the next victims of these companies. Unfortunately, we don't get the majority of them, but everyone we save is one less person who will throw away thousands of dollars to do something that they can do themselves. Hi, Billy. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you joining us here on a Sunday night. Half football, still 13-3. Wow, that's a just now how orange that Chicago Bears uniform color is. That is certainly something. Not going to confuse them for the other team. But so again, our latest crusade to educate owners on the downside or the truth about how timeshare exit and timeshare cancellation companies operate will continue. Because quite frankly, that message is what I see from owners on a daily basis. The industry itself is not doing a very good job at helping owners exit, and you have this entire collection, this entire industry that is collecting millions and millions of dollars every year from owners who don't know any better, or who aren't given any other realistic option. and they're just waiting with open arms to tell them exactly what they want to hear. Is I guarantee I can get you out of your timeshare, no problem whatsoever. We cancel tens of thousands of timeshares every single year, and when knowing that every single one of those was canceled because that person stopped paying for it. It really is a remarkable dynamic that again, the timeshare industry never ceases to amaze me at how what would otherwise be just common sense is just morphs and is able to be marketed and twisted and pitched to people where they not only will think it's a great idea and move forward with it, but then after it's successful, meaning they didn't realize they stopped paying for their timeshare, but it ended in their ownership, they will actually give that company a 5-star review on Yelp or Trustpilot or any of these other sites out there, saying that, hey, they got me out of my timeshare. It's fantastic. Yeah, it took 2 years, but they finally got me out. I got a letter from my timeshare saying that I was done. Again, not realizing that they could have stopped paying on their own and had the exact same result and saved 4, 5, 6, 7. I've even heard $10,000, $15,000 that some of these companies will charge people to quote unquote get them out of their timeshare. So every single person that we can save from engaging in an exit company to by giving them the truth about how that really works and how that operates, we will continue to fight that fight, and then I'll continue to produce videos, articles, Facebook posts, and everything to try to combat those people from falling for that and just throwing away even more money. So biggest news on TUG, or biggest, at least most shocking thread to me, it's falling on the same thing, same scam concept. This topic we've been talking about. There was an owner that recently posted that they lost more than $500,000 to a Mexican timeshare resale scam, which is, I mean, I thought it might have been a typo. I wanted to physically vomit and reading that and not believing that someone could have been taken over the course of that amount of time for so much money. It's again unbelievable to me that someone could continue to pay over and over that amount of money. The timeshare wasn't worth that much. They didn't pay that much where they bought it. How could you possibly have paid out to these scammers? And just it underlines how convincing these people truly are. And once they get someone, again, think of an elderly mom or an elderly grandma who, it's not even in their train of thought that this person is out to is flat out lying to them, that their whole goal is to continue to extract money from them and to continue to ask them to pay fee after fee after fee. You're almost going to get that huge check. I just need you to pay a little bit more, or this got hung up here in an unexpected expense. We just need you to wire this money, to be able to continue to get people to pay that is again, I can't stress enough at how effective and how good these people are at getting people to send them money. Again, looking at it from my point of view, or looking at it from an overhead view, or when it's explained, it makes, common sense will tell you that this is a scam. But when you're in it and when you're engaged with these companies and they're telling you and they have the exact response to counter any of your fears, it's amazing that how effective these scams truly are at parting people from their money. And it's not something new. It's not something that we've just now encountered. These scams have been going on for many, many years. And then, they continue to work. They would go away if they weren't effective. And there's a reason why these kind of scams have been prevalent for decades. And they're not going away anytime soon. But again, we hope that anyone who reads something that shocking in a story like that will absolutely be on their toes. They'll realize that next phone call they get, hey, this is absolutely a scam. There's no way I'm falling for this. I read that story on TUG. These person were taken. I don't care how convincing this guy sounds. There's not a check at the end of my tunnel. It is flat out, this person is just trying to take money from me, and I'm not sending a dime, which you shouldn't, regardless of what the offer has. So what are your thoughts about exchanging into II and RCI? Are the fees worth the exchange? Man, that is a great question, Travel Gal. RCI and II is really, the people used to like it to Coke versus Pepsi. They're the two largest exchange companies out there. They're the two exchange companies that I would say the vast majority of timeshares are affiliated with, either one or the other, sometimes both. I would say the vast majority of timeshare owners have had experiences with, are affiliated with one or the other. Again, depending on the timeshare that they own and what they can use. Are the fees worth the exchange? Obviously, if you can get a good exchange, they are. The biggest complaint, and you see this on both sides. So when I talk about RCI or I talk about II, I'm not singling either of them out. I can probably come up with 100 emails, people complaining about II, and 100 emails of people complaining about RCI, and you could probably just change the names, and those complaints would be the same, and it mainly revolves around availability. Meaning what I bought, and when I deposit, I can't ever find anything I want. I'm trying to go to Hawaii next year, and there's just nothing available, or if it is, it's a crap resort, or it's a studio on a week I don't want to go. So availability is always been probably the number one complaint, both RCI and II. So when people were sold their timeshare, they bought a week in Orlando and were told, by the salesman, I know how many times you heard this story, that you just buy this and you can just deposit in either exchange company, and you could deposit for anything in the world. You could trade for anything. You want to go to Hawaii, you can go to Hawaii. You want to go to Branson, you can go to Branson. What they didn't tell you is that you can go anywhere based on availability. And unfortunately, that availability, when you deposit something that has a relatively low value, like most average summer in Orlando, 1 or 2 bedrooms at an average resort, is just not going to lend you, not going to provide you with this huge selection of penthouse in Hawaii, or Vail, Colorado in the middle of ski season. You're just not going to find that disparity in value, meaning you can't put something that's valued at this small amount and expect to get an absolutely gorgeous exchange or 3-bedroom in Myrtle Beach and during spring break. That's just not how the exchange companies work. If that was how it worked, they would collapse overnight because there would be nothing left. Everyone would just deposit a 1-bedroom middle of summer Orlando week, and then just take all of the 3 bedrooms in Hawaii, and there would just be no inventory left. So, is it worth it? It can be. If you have something of value, when you deposit that, you're going to have a much, much larger selection in both II or RCI to choose from to make your exchange. So, unfortunately, if you own an average or worse, a below average week in a very, very highly developed place like Las Vegas or Orlando, where both of these companies likely have just huge amounts of inventory, you are not likely going to have a whole lot of success in getting exchanges for premier locations at premier times of the year. So in that regard, if that's your goal, then no, you're probably not going to find the value in those exchange fees, or you're going to be frustrated more often than not in trying to make exchanges, just like many other people are. And hey, I can't ever get what I want. I can't ever go anywhere I want to go. The availability is just not there. And those weeks might actually be there, but they're not going to show them to you because you haven't deposited something with enough value. Now, that's not something that's ever published or admitted. And for you to think that you can deposit something of a very, very low value and get something at a very, very high value that's far out is just, you're just going to result in you being disappointed more often than not. Now, where people do find great value in both exchange companies is getaway weeks or last calls, where you can find, admittedly, these are lower end weeks in 1-bedrooms and studios and such like that in these locations. It's excess inventory, but they're giving them away at such a huge discount for, call it, $199 a week or something extremely cheap for an entire week. It's worth it to some people, especially for people that don't truly care where they're going. They're looking to plan their next vacation or their next adventure on what's available. So they're not actually looking to go to a set destination during a set week. They're looking for a cheap rent. It's essentially a rental is what it is, but a super cheap exchange that they can reserve, for $200 for an entire week. You can't rent at an hourly motel for a flea-ridden hotel for those kind of rates. So if you have access to RCI and if you have access to II, looking at those deeply discounted quote unquote exchanges, even though they are rentals, is a great way to extract value of out of either of your exchange company memberships. You have to pay that annual exchange fee unless it's included with your ownership. So if you can just get one of those weeks to use, it absolutely incredible value in doing that. You probably won't find a value in terms of a nightly cost basis anywhere in the industry that even approaches that. But I think your question was probably more along the lines of depositing what you have and trying to get something out of the exchange pool. It always comes down to the value of what you have. If you're putting in an average week, you're only going to likely see and be able to exchange for other average weeks, which lends credence to, if you're trying to go somewhere unique or somewhere special or somewhere really, really nice during a high demand week, like a Labor Day weekend or spring break or first week of summer, last week of summer for kids, vacation, stuff like that. Christmas, Thanksgiving, all these super high travel, they're all booked up, full year in advance type thing. You're definitely going to be disappointed more often than not in exchanging like that, unless you are depositing something of extraordinarily high value that would give you access to the highest value exchanges that they have in each of those systems. So hopefully that answers your question, Travel Girl. We can talk about exchanging for most of the evening, to be perfectly honest. So, but I appreciate you chiming in. I appreciate you asking your question, and hopefully I answered it to your satisfaction. And if not, ask me another question. I'll try better next time. So, looks like, oh, look at that. Chicago's going to, no, maybe not. Almost coming up on halftime there. Maybe I get an influx of people on halftime. So, but yeah, back to the topic we were talking before. Literally, someone losing 500. I got to stop saying literally. My wife kills me. I say literally so often, so I apologize. Next, we got another question. Fantastic. I like it. Should a high deeded owner be concerned that Marriott runs the operation? That's actually a really good question. So when you're looking at the problem I have is when Hyatt and Welk, and I don't see Marriott or any of these mergers, for lack of a better term. The parent company hasn't really done a whole lot to dictate or push change, or even better solution. Generally the Marriott, the parent company likely has a better track record and or better policy in most cases than what they bought. So when you look at Diamond being bought by changing its name to Hilton Vacation Club, it's not like that Hilton was a shady or underhanded company that bought something and is now trying to absorb that into their system. Now that's that whole Hilton Vacation Club versus Hilton Grand Vacation Club. I have a bone to pick with that for different reasons, but very similar. You got Hyatt Residence Club, or excuse me, Hyatt Vacation Club, the Hyatt traditional system, and then you have Hyatt Vacation Club Platinum, or the old Welk system. My beef that I have with those questions there, or excuse me, that split there, is the naming conventions. People are legitimately being sold Hyatt, and even though they're really being sold Welk. All they did was the system didn't change. The Welk system is still the Welk system. It's just now called Hyatt Vacation Club. Unfortunately, that's also what Hyatt Vacation Club is called, and they're two completely separate systems. Now, I do expect the integration of those systems, whereas Hyatt, we'll call them Hyatt owners, for lack of a better term, and then Hyatt Welk owners will be able to cross whatever they'll call that system that will better integrate those two, and allowing, like the Hilton Grand Vacation Clubs calls it, HGV Max, so that Hilton owners can go to Diamond Resorts and vice versa. I don't expect a downside, so to speak. I don't expect the fact that a company comes in and absorbs another company. I would not expect, especially a company like Marriott, or a big company like Hilton or something like that, would not expect things to go down the tubes, which it sounds like, or things to even happen in a negative fashion. I see all this consolidation. Marriott's a publicly traded company, and as such, they answer to shareholders. They have to show the profits year in and year out. So it's not like they can just play fast and loose with rules, or truly dump the system. The only way that these huge, large timeshare organizations, publicly traded companies with these brands, Marriott, even though Marriott Vacation Club and Marriott Hotels are two completely separate companies, it's the logo is still there, and thus they answer to that all being Marriott power. They only succeed and they only continue to see the rise in profits when they have happy owners. And absorbing a company like Welk or Hyatt, I don't immediately expect, I don't at all expect all of those resorts to eventually go under the Hilton umbrella, or even get renamed or anything like that. They may peck and choose and take some if it gets down that road. But I see all of those continuing to operate as independent systems, although the naming obviously is going to change. I only see positives when you have a publicly traded and a very, very household name like Marriott buying a system. Hyatt Residence Club, the original Hyatt, certainly enjoys some unique qualities, especially some unique resorts. There's very, very few resorts in Key West, and I think they have two of them in Key West. So the deeded owners, just as long as they're not getting rid of their deeds and converting to points or anything like that, are going to enjoy premium usage of those. And there's no system can come in and suddenly destroy your deed. You're always going to have that. It's a deeded piece of real estate. I certainly see them incentivizing trying to get people to turn over their deeds. Maybe they'll give you, some huge Marriott abound point ownership or something like that to try and, if that was their goal, is to get rid of all deeded weak owners. But I have not seen any sort of push for that, or even any offer or any sort of tangible push to get high legacy deeded weak owners to convert or move into any other system. The real big changes I see are on the sales side. They're always trying to drive more sales. Hyatt owners, and for the most part, Hyatt, the original Hyatt Residence Club deeded owners, for the most part, are happy owners. Although nobody likes to see the huge increase in fees, especially in Florida, for those Key West resorts, dealing with how how those systems are how those homeowners associations are going to have to handle these increased costs for structural reports and fixing damage that they could have otherwise deferred, or fixing major infrastructure issues that otherwise could have been deferred for years on down the road, or paid for in that fashion. But that's something that's across the board. That's not something specific to Hyatt deeded owners or deeded owners in general. Every system that has a resort within 3 miles of a coast in Florida is going to suffer through that increase in costs. And you just have systems that the larger system gets, the better it's able to weather those increased costs. Independent resorts are certainly feeling the burn and having crazy high unexpected fees like that, and have to pass that on to their owners. Where you get larger systems, especially as they merge, and more and more owners within those systems are able to shoulder that burden, and the cost of owning in that is not going to go up as much as a resort that only had a few hundred owners versus something that has tens of thousands of owners. So I definitely don't see anything immediately negative about either the Hyatt merger with the purchase of Welk, or Marriott owning or purchasing that. Will something come on down the road? It's certainly possible, but I certainly see both of those acting as independent entities for quite some time. Mhm. Should we expect additional future devaluation of Hyatt points exchange and ILI what occurred in the past year, or was that a one-time leveling? Your opinion? Yeah, that was a fun topic for Hyatt owners on the forum. I'm not sure that when you talk about exchange valuation, this is something I've preached for years. You're the value of what you deposit into I, and again, I don't want to make II out to be the bad guy here. RCI is the same way. The value of what you deposit is totally arbitrary, and it's based on ever changing, fluctuating nebula of just did spirit fingers nebula of some sort of matrix. Someone way smarter than me at both of these companies has developed a way to to value what gets deposited, and obviously that matrix, or that maybe AI is involved in it now, that whatever that calculation that determined that how many Hyatt weeks were put into Interval International versus what they're being exchanged for, versus how many people were taking those weeks out, which I'd be willing to bet was probably a bigger factor, meaning how much was left on the bone. If you had, and I'm just throwing out numbers here, so please don't quote me as this is accurate. If you had 10,000 Hyatt weeks or 10,000 weeks worth of points deposited into Interval International, and they were only renting out, 45% of those, obviously they can't weather that storm. They were clearly losing value when people deposited a Hyatt week. If I deposit Hyatt week A for this amount of points and I took something out of the exchange pool, it was a losing proposition for Interval International at the level at which they were currently valuing those Hyatt points. Thus, it had to be adjusted, and it went down. I think it's the only time. I won't say that. I'm sure it's happened in the past. It's changed in the past. I don't want to say it went up or down, but I expect stuff like that to change regularly. Is it going to be high? No, but I would be willing to bet that other point systems will certainly share changing values as point systems continue to consolidate and become more and more popular, allowing people to deposit those points or their underlying weeks into these systems. RC and I are feeling the burn. I can't imagine that they're happy to see the entire industry going to points, and the consolidation of these companies as they're buying other companies and offering all of these internal exchanges. I mean, if I can trade within Marriott, or I can trade within Hilton, or I can trade within Hyatt, and now Welk, and all of these individual ones by internal exchanges without having to one, pay for an exchange membership $250 a year, or two, have to pay to deposit or take something out. I get all of this with my ownership. that has to have made a huge dent in both RCI and I's bottom line. And as such, I expect them to regularly adjust values. Now, do they across the board? You know, the more they do that, obviously, that probably alone contributed to more people not using from the higher program, since the value went down, than anything they could do. And as they continue that, you're going to see more and more people use interval and RCI less, as if they're getting less for what they're depositing, and they're making even less exchanges, they're going to be less likely to deposit. But I don't think it was the decision made just out of the blue. I don't think it was someone in a back room that felt Hyatt was going downhill or something like that. I truly believe it was a mathematics thing that they saw how many Hyatts were being deposited into Interval International versus how many were being exchanged for, and how much was left over, and being unable to rent that out or otherwise monetize that excess inventory. And it came down to a bottom line, is we have to reduce the value of what being put in order to make it. If they're losing money for every Hyatt deposit, then they can't just shut off all Hyatt deposits. So they just move the little slider over a little bit so that it's now worth a little bit less, and thus back in line with making it profitable for them. RCI and I aren't charities; they're not there to break even. Why would you have such a large infrastructure and a large system to not make money? And as such, you have to make those changes so that you stay profitable. If you don't stay profitable, then the high level executives get replaced with people who do make it profitable, or you go out of business. There's improvise, adapt, and overcome. That is a corporate world just as it is anywhere else. So, deed or points? What's your view on which to own? Well, that's I will say that the industry has made it clear it's going to points. There is just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The industry shifting that way. I'm not even sure. I can't even think of a resort system right now that is actively selling deeded weeks. Maybe if someone's on that can think of one, there probably is, but just underlines the fact that almost all of the major players, every single one I can think of, sells points. Sell point programs. Then there might be an underlying deed that you buy when you do that, but a fixed or floating deeded week in this topic is a fixed or floating ownership with a deed versus points. The industry is going to points. It's just more flexible. That's what people want. That is what today's generation of buyers and the next generation of buyers that they're looking forward want. The flexibility. They want the internal exchange programs. They want the ability to stay within that system and use their points. There's just this generation and future generations are not interested. I'm sure there's some might be, you're just not interested in buying a fixed week, going to the same place at the same year in and year out. That just doesn't appeal to today's traveler. And as such, that the industry as a whole has shifted to selling nothing but points. They all have point programs, and you can see they're all consolidating or starting to consolidate, where those points will, because the point is vaporware and they can be adjusted. The value of those can be adjusted as they see fit to make their business model continue to be profitable. They're able to use those to allow you to book in more and more systems as they buy and consolidate and incorporate or merge, if you want to call it that, making their own mini exchange companies. You look at Blue Green and how it recently got purchased. That fills a huge gap in the system that bought that. And so I eventually expect all of these systems will work towards making these point overs be able to use those 10,000 points, not in just the Hilton system you own in, or not in just the Marriott system you own in, but the companies that are merging in acquisitions, they're going to be able to use those. Now that the exchange rate might be crap, but the goal is probably not for you to trade intra-system every single year, but for you to have the option. And more options is appealing, especially when I'm selling that to someone. Is look at all these resorts that you have the ability to go to within our system. That is appealing. That is what today's modern traveler, modern vacation traveler, even family traveler wants to buy into, and that is what the entire industry is going towards. Now, that said, because you can't buy deeded weeks anymore in most cases, those deeds are becoming few and far between. And for the people that are still out there that want to be able to plan their family vacation around that Thanksgiving week we bought at Myrtle Beach or Vail, Colorado, want that beginning of the year ski trip. There is value there. So those deeded weeks they're only getting more and more scarce as people sell them. and they the deed gets absorbed or whatever, and that becomes another ownership in a point system somewhere. There are less and less of them available in supply and demand. So there are people out there that still love fixed weeks. There are people out there that are still looking to buy those. Unfortunately, you just don't see them come up for sale that much anymore, because the already small pool of people that know they can buy timeshares on the resale market just again, the majority of people looking to buy timeshares, period, are looking for that flexibility, and they're looking for, at minimum, a floating week that gives them the ability to alter their vacation week as their schedule fits. But more importantly, people want multiple locations. They want multiple destinations. They want more flexibility, and the industry has followed that path. And you just see the record growth of this industry year in and year out, even since COVID. What do we got here? MVC sales rep recently told me that I shouldn't have been able to exchange back into Marriott via II, and that I should have used internal Marriott. What is this, true, or is this rep confused? What I believe is that they're telling you is that they call the Abound is Marriott calls it its internal exchange system. So when you have points, you can exchange within the Marriott system. So that's what is likely what he was mentioning. I don't know what the details were involved with that. I personally traded into I don't see any reason why you couldn't take a Marriott out if I don't care what you deposit in II. Once you deposit something into Interval, it now belongs to Interval. They don't care what you take out. I guess technically you could take your own week out if you wanted to, but you'd be paying for it, which would be stupid in at face value. But there's no rule against it. I mean, if you really wanted to pay the exchange fee for the week you deposited, I don't know why I would care. It seemed like they would be perfectly happy to get $250 for nothing. But no, I personally traded the Marriott week. I've owned traded into I traded for Frenchman's Cove. I traded Heritage Club at Harbor Town for Frenchman's Cove when I went on my honeymoon. So that happens pretty commonly, especially for the legacy owners that don't want to pay to convert to Abound, or don't want to enroll their even their older. They were offering it for free. That you can enroll that way, but don't want to go to the point system. Extremely common for Marriott owners to still utilize Interval International to exchange because they don't want to pay to convert, or they don't want to learn the new Abound system and be able to trade internally, as you mentioned there, with the Abound points. So that is the only thing I can think of, and that was why the Marriott that salesman would have told you that. But again, our rule of thumb is half of what sales rep says is nonsense and the other half is a lie. So to not believe anything anyone says, and there may be some truth to what they said, or maybe it was phrased in a way that was disingenuous. But they're just bad people in all offices. But hopefully it was just a misunderstanding. Hopefully they were misunderstood your question, or phrased it just poorly, or just didn't know and was just coming off the cuff to give you an answer. So makes sense. No, absolutely. So that is again my opinion, but no, I'm not aware of any rule that would prevent you from depositing a Marriott into Interval International and then exchanging something out of II that was also Marriott. I've personally done it, so I know it happens, and I've never heard anyone say that there's some sort of rule against that. So again, once you deposit anything, Marriott or otherwise, deposit anything into Interval International, it becomes Intervals. It's no longer yours. You've given them that week. And it could be taken up immediately, meaning someone could have had a preset exchange set up that they immediately reserve that as soon as you deposited it, and it's now gone. So that leaves you with the ability to search the system, any system, be it RCI or II, for anything you want. And if that just happened to be a Marriott that you wanted to take, more power to you. Take it out of there, and I don't think Marriott would ever know nor care that a Marriott owner traded within that. So I fully expect them to want you to trade within Abound, because that's what they're going to. That's the whole reason they developed that program, is to combat owners from depositing within II. They want to monetize that, and they want people to be able to trade within Marriott and do it that way. But no, there's nothing wrong with you doing it through Interval. So ROFR, are you seeing more buybacks from the developer recently? Originally, I would have said no, except for recently saw Blue Green. Meaning there's a whole thread on the Blue Green forum where they're talking about Blue Green is now just exercising ROFR on tons of stuff, which really surprised me, because they're not doing their deed back program, meaning that people are calling, asking to give their ownership back. and they're being told no, or they're being told to go to Pinnacle to sell it on their own. But then, people are actually talking about gaming the system now and coming up with not a fake buyer, but coming up with a buyer who is, just making a lowball offer on their blue green points, and knowing full well that blue green is going to step in and exercise a right of first refusal and then buy it and take it back from them. It's absolutely wild to me, but just seeing so many reports on that and so many confirmations that has happened. I was really shocked that blue green is taking that much effort into taking back these dollar per point, or I forget what the price point was at which they were pretty much guaranteed to exercise right of first refusal and take it back. I'm not seeing an increase or a decrease for that matter on the Marriott side. Usually, as the year ends, meaning we're coming up and maintenance fees are all becoming due in January, for the most part anyway, coming due for 2025. So I would expect a slowdown across the board, because they don't want to take more stuff back, because that's they got to pay there, or they got to eat the maintenance fee for 2025 on that. If you accept a week back or buy it back, and it hasn't been paid for, then they've got to eat that. So beginning of the year is always much more successful in trying to give an ownership back. Always much more successful to do deed backs. Always much more successful in trying to sell. Unfortunately, because your maintenance fees are due. The end of the year, you just find it's harder to do everything. It's harder to sell a timeshare, because either you have to pay the 2025 maintenance fees, or the new owner has to do that. And I don't want to buy your timeshare and have to immediately pay a fee. Harder to give it back because they've taken back so many in the year. Same with right of first refusal. They've probably already taken back or close to or approaching the limit on the inventory that they can take back. But they're systems all have internal algorithms and programs that, at least you assume so, that establish what they can and can't take back, and at what price point that they'll step in and take that sort of inventory. Even the resorts are different. If they have excess points, at one resort, and they can't take back, they've already taken 120% of the deeds that they could that they had set for themselves to be able to carry that bad debt at that resort. They can't take back any more deeds at that resort, even if they were nice properties. So there's so many things going behind the scenes that would limit a resort's ability to take back a unit via an actual deed back program, or to step in and exercise a right of first refusal. That the end of the year just kind of puts all that stuff in flux. So normally I would say that yes, I'd see a reduction in that, but that blue green thing really surprised me. So anyone who's trying to sell their blue green timeshare, it looks like you could truly find a buyer to take it off your hands. And even if blue green stepped in, as far as you don't care, blue green's paying you, so you're out of your timeshare. So it does suck for the buyer, but I'm always happy to see that as a solution for resorts, even though it'd make more sense to me just to take it back via deed back. You just pay the $425 fee and give it back. Why jump through the hoops of trying to waste someone's time, waste a closing company, waste your time, waste the buyer's time, just for them to step in and take it. Why not just take it right at the start and cut out the middleman? But if I spent all day scratching my head about the stuff that doesn't make sense for the timeshare industry, I'd have even less hair than I have now. So it is what it is. And I stopped trying to understand why some things are the way they are, and just report on what we see, and try and share the information, so people can make an educated, informed decision. I wish I had all the answers, but I certainly don't. Some stuff just doesn't make sense for whatever reason. So what else we got? I think we covered. Actually, that's perfect. We had one more topic that I didn't come to, and then we're coming in on an hour. So, man, I can't believe that this many of you, I think, is all have stayed on this long. It's exactly halftime. Look, I can finish it up at halftime, and everyone can go refill their drinks. But the Wyndham and Hilton Exit program, man, we've just had a perfect segue to talk about that RFR. I hate to report about complaints about the Wyndham exit program, because it's been the gold standard since exit programs started. Wyndham has always offered a free, unconditional surrender program that if your ownership was paid off, Wyndham, your Wyndham ownership, whether they deeded points, whatever, you could give it back for free. No questions asked, no muss, no fuss, and be done with it. And now we've just seen so many more reports of people being denied. People claiming that their resale buyers are being denied. People, shell weeks that they used to take back now being denied. Now I fully understand why you would deny a deeded week at a resort that Wyndham manages but doesn't own. But that's not the case for many of these reports. And I hate that I see that. But again, the only thing I can come up with as an explanation is, getting to be the end of the year, and they've just taken back so much this year, and then it could be exacerbated by the crazy increase in maintenance fees in 2023 and 2024, and predicted for 2025. More owners just, this is my limit. I'm calling it quits. I don't want this anymore. And all of these, even these official programs that offer deed backs, have to have their limits. You just can't take back everything. And then I can only assume that Hilton hit their limit. I saw a person had a Hilton Gold Week. I think it was a Laura or something that it's actually a halfway decent week, even though it was gold versus platinum. But it's something that should have had no problem someone giving it away for free, but Hilton wouldn't even take it back. And that just truly surprised me. And I'm seeing more and more of those on the Wyndham, the Hilton side, not so much on the Marriott's. And I still think most Marriott's can certainly don't have any lack of takers if they offered up for free. And Wyndham a Marriott usually can sell for at least a small fraction of what they originally paid for their timeshare for. So they're not in those situations. But silver weeks in Hilton and many gold weeks that are, for lack of a better term, unsellable. People find themselves that they're being rejected by Wyndham's Hilton's exit program. And my best advice to them is keep being proactive, keep calling, and especially January 1st. I know you have to pay an extra year's worth of maintenance fees, which sucks, but giving it back January 1st or January 15th or whatever, the day after you pay your maintenance fees, is going to give you your best chance at being accepted back with no muss, no fuss. I mean, if you don't want to go the default route and run the risk of a ding to your credit or dealing with collections, annoying calls, negotiating a deed back is always the quickest and easiest solution to get rid of an unwanted timeshare. And the best chance to do that is in January or shortly after your maintenance fees are paid for the following year. Another question. Awesome. Fantastic. I love it. Do you see fractional ownership companies competing with the timeshare model? Is it apples to oranges? I truly consider that apples to oranges. I mean, fractionals are just, they're not managed the same. The price point is just in the stratosphere compared to timeshares. And so the model is completely different. They're more, I believe, I saw a company a while back who was doing, fractionals kind of like, Airbnbs, where they're really, really gorgeous, homes for lack of a term, that you could, buy a month of it or something like that. But, I just don't, and we don't see a lot of it on TUG at all. The fractional model just doesn't, never really lended itself to the people that would come on TUG. Just far fewer people willing to put that kind of investment in what is essentially a timeshare that just gives you a month or 2 months or a quarter, whatever the fractional share happens to be, and buying that just because you're the goal, the reason people buying a timeshares is because you're sharing it with a bunch of people, and thus you're spreading the cost of the ownership out so that it becomes affordable and manageable and attractive. Meaning, the $1,200 or $1,400 or under $2,000 a year for a vacation is attractive for a huge number, millions of potential travelers, whereas fractional is much more expensive, and you're spreading it across dozens of owners, if that, versus thousands. And as such, it's much higher price point to buy into, much higher price point in terms of maintenance fees, even though they don't call them that, because you're not spreading it out as much, and thus it loses the allure to the average family traveler, fractionals versus timeshares. So yeah, I don't consider those apples to apples at all. They're just two completely separate products, even though I guess they could both fall under the description of a timeshare. It's just not something that you can compare one to the other, since they're just two different customer bases, two different ways to enjoy vacations. One just way more expensive than the other one. Your machine, hey, man, that's what I'm here for. I absolutely love it. Thank you for asking questions. I love the interaction. I absolutely love to talk about timeshares. I do it all day, every day on TUG. I usually type more than I talk on the phone, but these videos, and as long as you're asking questions, I'm going to answer them. And again, for all of you people that stayed this long or over an hour, I didn't expect that. It's now halftime, so it doesn't look like the Bears are doing too hot. But if you guys want to go back to your football, if there aren't any other questions, that pretty much covered all of my topics there. And I appreciate you guys tuning in for this episode of Sunday Night Football and Timeshares. And I'll give it a couple more seconds if anybody wants to tune in or hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. So I am wearing my my T-Rex taco shirt. Funny story, as you guys are leaving, and if you want to start, I went to brother-in-law's, one of his middle kid turned 5 today. And so we went and celebrated his birthday. So I take my kids over there, and he actually had this exact same shirt on, and my wife almost fell on the floor laughing, as I didn't wear this one over there because I was going to wear it tonight. But she could not believe that another person actually bought this shirt, which is absolutely hysterical to me. And we both had the biggest kick out of it. And she just couldn't believe her brother and her husband both owned this same absolutely ridiculous shirt. And so now I'm pretty much gonna have to wear it everywhere, especially when I take my wife out. So I know that it drives her up the wall. So just as the little things, that's how marriage is. It's a happy wife, right? Thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you guys so much. This one, what's your best timeshare redemption? Timeshare redemption. What do you mean by timeshare redemption? I'll answer that and get over that. Thanks. I hope you make it regular. Absolutely. I would like to do it every other week. My goal is to produce a video every week, an informative video like a YouTube short. Timeshare minute things have been wildly popular. I'm super happy with those, as I can churn those out and answer the questions that I get on a weekly basis. And then the other week I'll do 2 weeks for that, and then an actual timeshare video. So yes, once a month I'm going to try this once a month. That is absolutely going to be the goal, to chit chat and do this. And again, there's just unlimited topics to talk about. So I'll keep doing it as long as you guys keep tuning in. So thanks again, Diane. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Travel Guy, what was your question again? What's your favorite timeshare redemption? Do you like I don't understand the question. So type it again, and I'll happy to answer it. I mean, I'll wait till keep it on. You're very welcome. So thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all of you who tuned in. Best trade. Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to say the Frenchman's Cove. I traded Heritage Club at Harbor Town, which admittedly I have not. We had I don't think it's been to Hilton Head. I personally haven't been to Hilton Head since I was a kid. Always traded that and deposited an interval. But trading for Frenchman's Cove, that was just amazing. We got a really high floor, and I think it was the St. John building. It sucked going up and down those stairs every single day. But no, that was my idea of a timeshare. Meaning, I open up my patio and I'm just looking down at a beautiful, crystal clear Caribbean, and I walk down to the beach in the morning, and 10 they had buy one get one free. The frozen drinks down there were just amazing, and I literally have to walk out of the pool to a bar, and he hands me a drink, and I walk back into the pool. That's my idea of a vacation. That was fantastic. I would go back to Frenchman's Cove in a heartbeat, and so that's when it comes to great exchanges, that one for me. And then that was a Marriott for Marriott trade through Interval International. So no, that's easily my best trade, and I hope when my kids right now are 5 and 7, so I'm not big on the whole international, even though I know St. John is still in the U.S. But air travel, we did one trip to New York. We went to upstate New York and stayed on what was the name of the lake? Blue Mountain Lake. Anyway, that was air travel with 5 and 7-year-old is just no. I'm not for that. I'm not a fan of that. I gave that a 0 of 10 stars. Do not recommend. Hopefully they get older, and I would really like to travel with them more and take them places. Driving also is just not. I'm not driving to New York either. So Orlando is 2 hours in the car, and I'm about ready to strangle my kids. So that's our limit so far. But as of now, do plan on taking many more vacations. Definitely do some more exchanges and getting stuff a little bit further away when my kids get a little bit older, when I don't have to take car seats. That was really kind of the biggest pain, is having to load 2 car seats and take it in an airplane. Oh my God, England. No, man, I don't even want to fly that 6-hour flight from here to across the pond. I mean, admittedly, last time I flew overseas, it was nowhere near like they didn't in-plane Wi-Fi didn't exist last time I flew overseas, and you had a little bitty, maybe screen that you could watch a movie on. But as air travel now is much nicer with the in-flight Wi-Fi and stuff like that. But still, young kids on airplanes, and especially with delays, we got stuck in Washington D.C. for like 12 hours, and I thought kids on a plane for hours is bad. Kids in an airport is way worse. So yeah, we're ready to New York, Tokyo, 6 and 11-year-old. Yeah. Oh my goodness. I would love to watch a YouTube video of that. So New York to Tokyo, what is that? 12 hours, 12 hours. Oh, New York to Tokyo, man, we're going the wrong way. So what, that's got what, almost a day? What are you, 6 hours to what, Seattle, and then 10 hours, what is it, 7 hours from Seattle to Tokyo, something like that. I've never gone that direction, to be perfectly honest. I've always gone, what's the longest trip? Don't remember. Barcelona, maybe. Philadelphia to Barcelona yeah. No, I used to travel for work back pre 9/11 stuff, and the stuff now is just the air travel is just so much less pleasant. Is the word I'm looking for. 16 hours. Whew. Yeah, there would be some homicidal thoughts going through my mind. 16 hours on stuck in an airplane with kids. That you got to have a lot of patience. And me, I know myself, and I don't have that kind of patience. So we'll stick with Orlando for now. East Coast Florida. Thankfully, Florida's just got an unlimited destinations that we can take our kids to. And we went to Ocean Walk, beachfront. I mean, kids thought my kids were going to love it. And I think we spent a total of like 18 minutes on the beach and an Ocean Walk. It was literally one step from the beach, just right down there. They spent the entire time at those pools. Man, they love those Ocean Walk pools. They're a little kiddie play area. They, just in and out of the pool, which is great because, I mean, we just sat in the pool with them. And didn't have to deal with the sand or the beach. And I was absolutely floored that my kids, no, we want to go to the pool. We want to play in the pool. So, I mean, I guess now I just got to find resorts with nice pools. I no longer have to limit myself to oceanfront resorts because I mean, my kids love the beach, don't get me wrong, but I was just it was very clear that the difference between enjoying a day at the pool and a little kids play area and going to the beach. My kids chose the pool every single time. So I definitely take them back to Bonnet Creek because I can always get reservations at Bonnet Creek, and they got pools coming out the yin yang. So as it is now, a little over an hour. And again, thanks, Clara. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, Travel Gal. I appreciate you all chiming in, and I'll absolutely schedule this once a month at minimum. We will have a chat, and we'll do some Sunday night. Maybe we'll do another Sunday night in football. And again, I can't thank you guys enough for putting up with 10 to 16. I must have missed a touchdown there. So let everybody get back to enjoy the game. I'm gonna go make a drink and enjoy the second half of the game. So again, thank you very much for all of you that tuned in, and I will be certain to announce the next time we have this, as well as I'll pick the 10 winners later on this evening and announce those on the forums and the YouTube page and the Facebook page. So thank you so much again. You guys have a wonderful evening and happy time sharing.